and I myself didn't know him, but the one who sent me to baptize with water told me, the man you see the Spirit come down and remain is the one who will baptize with Holy Spirit. I have seen and I can testify, this is God's chosen one. And I myself didn't know him. Delving into the text, and I myself didn't know him. Now what this text is interpreting is this, that John knows of him, but is not able to understand him. This process of understanding a person who is like Jesus Christ is a matter of believing. It is just like trying to understand God himself, whom we have never met, and have no knowledge whatsoever about him, so being his Son, and our Father, he is also a mystery, and in order to solve this mystery, there is a systematic approach required. This approach is of absolute devotion and love. To understand this further, absolute devotion is for you to pass through your karma in a rather easy manner. This will also depend upon destiny of a person, which is different for every person there is. Now, in order to understand a person like Jesus Christ, what you need to understand is that on surface level there is not much difference. The only difference is that they have absolute control over their brain, and now it is just a tool for them. We humans are actually opposite. Of this we are like servant to our brain. Like, for example, our daily life consists of eating, sleeping, working, and spending time with family. Now think out of all these activities, like what we eat, our brain is deciding for us what we want to eat today. How much we sleep is also decided for us by our brain, and we usually have no control over it, and go to the work. Part it is also related to your brain, like what studies you did, and where you got the job, and how you do your job is also dictated by the brain. So the point is that brain is the deciding factor for anything and everything that you are going to do. And so wouldn't it be beneficial for everybody to retrain this brain into a friend instead of just letting it boss you around based on its 5 properties? In the before section, what is described is the surface level difference between Jesus and everybody. Now let's try to understand what is on the inside. So in order to understand what is inside, you will need to make your soul stronger, and this process can be a decades-long process. This long process is because we have lots of karma on us from all the lives that we've gone through. So it is sort of like, although soul is eternal, but is under the weight of a mountain worth of karma. And we have only started to chip away at the mountain, but to actually destroy this mountain, it may require a lifetime worth of effort and God's grace. And it is only when the karma is dealt with, and soul has no weight over it, can it fly to his master, to the appointed place, where master has told that you, as disciple, only have to reach till this point, and the rest of the way your master will take you with him. And it is at this appointed place that all the questions we have had through our lifetime within our brain, everything will be answered. There will be nothing more left to know after that. But the one who sent me to baptize with water. Delving into this text, to baptize a person with water, is the way John was doing it, and those priests were asking, "Why are you doing it? And who are you to baptize?" So based on this he gave an answer that he is not the Messiah, and he is only doing it with water. So from this statement, this kind of baptism which is done with water and to the body, and can be done by any person whosoever he may be. But still this process of baptism, it is still a religious ceremony, one that has been going on for thousands of years, so it will have a very important place in people's heart So every person on this earth has free will. They are allowed to do whatever they want to do. And since this related to a God, and your relationship with God will be elevated to a higher level, it is safe to say this is one good deed, and you are one step closer to God. So keep on doing it. The man you see the Spirit come down and remain is the one who will baptize with Holy Spirit. Delving into this text, what is being told is that real baptism is done to the Spirit, and by a person who is like Jesus Christ. But what's special about Jesus is that he has Holy Spirit and the power of Word inside of him. Now the question remains, where does this baptism happens? It happens the appointed place where we are supposed to go and meet our Master. What happens is that at that place is a pond filled with Word, which is God's ultimate power, which can create and destroy everything in the cosmos. Now what will happen here is that your spirit will have its power of light back, and will thus gain control over this brain. And when brain is under control, all the karma that we did under its influence will be burned away with the power of Word, and your spirit come back to its original shape of dove. I have seen, and I can testify, this is God's chosen one. Now John over here seems to know something. That is why he was doing baptism here. He seems to know where Jesus will come, and what sort of a person Jesus is, and based on that information, he is boldly saying that he can testify he is God's chosen one. Now testify as term is related to something important, and something which is absolute truth, and it is the kind of information which is needed to be released to this world, so that all of this world can benefit from it in a manner of thinking. This term is fancy one, God's chosen one. Now people like Jesus have their brain under their control, so all of brain properties are also under their control, and the property of ego, which makes a man want to be famous, recognized, validated, or to be set apart from the rest of the people, they don't have it in them. Now I am not trying to say these will not happen to them, but the thing is they will not change because of them. Now ego on a whole is now the biggest reason why we are away from God. And why is that? Because it's hard for us to accept that we are not just humans but souls. It is because of our ego that we separate ourselves from God. Since there is not much information on God, ego will not let you have faith or belief in God either. Ego is what makes this brain so powerful, when it makes you do the bad things that you are not meant to do. So a man should try to be more humble and selfless, restrained, lead a normal life. Now one way to minimize your ego for men, it is to be married. Now you ask how that will help. Now a man can be man in front of the whole world, but in front of his wife he will be on his best behavior, in which a man has no ego or pride left in him. This is the right way to go.